Well, you guys, my previous coaster review was regarding an aero suspended coaster, so it only makes sense to review another. In the same state, about 3.5 hours north, lies another suspended coaster. This is Iron Dragon at Cedar Point. This ride stands at a height of 76 feet with a top speed of 40 miles per hour. Like the Bat at Kings Island, the stats aren't very impressive. In fact, they are very similar in stats. The Bat is 78 feet and has a top speed of 51 miles per hour. So yes, the Bat is taller and faster. However, stats aren't everything. Ultimately, the ride experience is what matters. So today, I'll be providing my review of Iron Dragon, what I liked and what I didn't like, and even compare this ride to the Bat. So to start off, I want to briefly mention this ride's location. This ride's placement is actually really good. It is located in between Rougarou and Top Thrill 2, with the ride entrance being on the Rougarou side. This ride travels by trees and above a body of water towards the end of the ride. This ride is also the first ride you will see when you are walking towards Top Thrill 2, as the ride's second half is to the left of the pathway you take to get to Top Thrill 2. I really like this ride's location as it makes a good first impression and will make you excited to ride it. Now let's get into the ride experience. After you are dispatched out of the station, you will take a right-hand turn and climb up the 76-foot tall lift hill. Just like the Bat, the chain lift is slow. However, I do find this lift to be faster than the Bat. Once you reach the top, you go down its drop, and this drop is nowhere near as good as the drop you get on the Bat. The Bat's drop is longer and as a result hits a higher top speed than Iron Dragon. After the drop, you turn left and proceed into more turns. These turns go from right to left to right again and proceed into a helix turning left. If you are quick enough, you get a good view of Top Thrill 2, such as its vertical spike, its top hat, and it can even finish its ride when you are passing by. Once you complete the helix, you hit the brakes and go up a second lift hill, which is quite rare on a coaster. I know the Beast at Kings Island has a second lift hill, but a second lift hill is very uncommon these days. The second lift hill is faster and is about the same height as the first. Once you reach the top, you turn left and descend. I wouldn't necessarily call this a drop, but you start to pick up speed and I think this is where it hits the top speed. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments though. You then go into a series of bank turns and go down into the finale. This is where you pass over a body of water and into a helix, this time turning right. After the helix, you turn left a little, then take a small right turn, and then hit the brakes. And that concludes your ride on Iron Dragon. So regarding my thoughts on Iron Dragon, I think it is just an okay ride. I'm not the biggest fan of this ride because it's not very thrilling, and it feels like it just meanders through the whole layout. I understand that this ride is a family coaster, however it just feels quite slow and it's not that fun of a ride. I also noticed that this ride isn't the smoothest. It's definitely not a rough ride, but it has a few spots where it can be shaky at times. I found the smoothness of this ride to be very disappointing because to me the Bat was a smooth ride, but Iron Dragon it wasn't as smooth as the Bat. With that being said, I am not saying that this ride is bad, but this ride is nowhere near as fun as the other rides at Cedar Point and even at Kings Island. If you have kids though, definitely take them on this ride as I'm sure they'll have a ton of fun, but for experienced riders like myself, you won't find this ride to be that fun. For those of you that are coaster enthusiasts, I'd say just ride this once for the credit and don't ride it again. There are so many better rides at Cedar Point such as Maverick, Millennium Force, and Steel Vengeance that you should do instead of Iron Dragon. So for my final score of Iron Dragon, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Like I said earlier, it's an okay ride. It's not a bad coaster by any means, but I just think that other rides at Cedar Point and even at Kings Island are so much better. Between this and the Bat at Kings Island, I choose the Bat and it's not even close. The Bat is smoother, more fun, and more thrilling than Iron Dragon. This ride is definitely good for families though, and I recommend doing this if you have kids. This ride is a good coaster to introduce younger riders to bank turns and other elements that are taken to the next level on more thrilling rides. So I want to hear your thoughts on Iron Dragon in the comments. Do you agree with my opinion? Did I rate this ride too harshly? Be sure to let me know. Stay tuned for more content, and I'll catch you guys next time here on Theme Park Thrills.